This morning I got up and I watched a really good game between the Philadelphia Flyers and New York Rangers. Got all my treadmill stuff done as well. I didn't have time for the treadmill yesterday. Got it all done. According to my phone, I've got 4,000 more steps than yesterday. Feel great. And Calgary, well, the Calgary Flames go in, and this game was, you know, I'm not sure if you're a Florida fan how to take this. Like, they now are really behind it when it comes to catching Toronto. Like, the odds of them catching Toronto, it just feels like are getting more and more scarce every day. Now, they pointed out Calgary was on a 2-1-1 road trip thus far, and that Florida had lost 10 out of 14. And not only that, Florida's last win at home before today was January 16th against the Kings. It's March. So they haven't won at home in a long time. And when you're trying to sell local fans on excitement and fill the stands, this doesn't help. And if owners are sitting there watching, I kind of understand why they're talking about trimming the amount of money that they spend on players next year. They spent to the cap, and they're not getting the results. So I kind of get it. I kind of get why they're saying, you know what? We took a bath this year, and things just seem to be not progressing the way we'd like them to. Cut the budget next year because we'd like to try to turn some sort of profit. Now, with all of that as your backdrop, the Panthers get a power play early, but with 11 seconds left in their power play, they take a penalty, which leads to, of course, a power play for Calgary. And on the power play, Calgary scores. It's Johnny Gaudreau from Lindholm and Giordano at 6:21. So it's 1-0 for the Flames. And Huberdeau nearly answered. The shots were 6-3 for the Panthers at the 12-minute mark. But honestly, it felt like that was pretty much it. And I know that doesn't make any sense, right? The Florida Panthers, and they showed the graphic. Goals are scored in Florida games at a combined rate higher than any other team in the National Hockey League, with the exception of Toronto. Toronto games are crazy. So Florida games are almost that crazy. But it felt like Calgary could lock it down. And I don't know what it was. Something with Talbot right out of the gate. Johnny Gaudreau then got a penalty shot, which was saved by Montembeault. Lost in amongst all this, as I thought Sam Montembeault played well. And the weird thing was, it appeared from the warm-up and everything that Bobrovsky was going to start, and then Montembeault ended up in net. So I don't know what that was about, or if it was just Joel Quenneville trying to throw a curveball at the Flames so they'd make him think one goaltender was starting and the other would be in. Second period, early on, it's Lucic with his 7th of the year from Ryan and Giordano at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So Giordano has helped to solidify the defensive game for the Calgary Flames, as one might have expected. But really, the story today is Cam Talbot. And the fact that every time Florida gets near the net, nope. Now, Johnny Gaudreau hit a post, and the shots, even to that stage, they were in favor of the Panthers. And the Panthers played really well, just could not solve Talbot. This is your story for today. Could not solve Cam Talbot. Talbot, for my money, between Talbot and Riddick, if the playoffs start tomorrow, I'm starting Talbot, right? There was a too many men call on the Flames after there was a 3-on-2 that was denied by Cam Talbot. And, boy, there was some booing of the Panthers' power play. So this was their second power play, and it was getting booed. And I thought, wow, this is bad. Like, you've already got a building that, and again, this is what's shown on TV. I know there are fans in the upper bowl, but that's not shown on TV. It's the lower bowl. It's the expensive seats, and there's a lot of empty seats. And it feels like, now that this team is struggling to win at home, it feels like there's more of them. And I don't know if that's true or not. But you've got a half-empty building from the looks of it on TV. Crowds booing their own power play on the second power play when they're down 2-0. And it was a very quiet crowd overall through those first two periods. And you know, I don't think it helps that this team's not winning at home. So if you've been on the fence as to whether or not to go to a Florida game, you're not persuaded to go to a Florida game unless you're a Flames fan today. So that's an issue. Third period, I thought it was telling, too, that when Florida played at home against Toronto the other night, you could still see empties. And I thought, wow, even when Toronto's there, you still see some empty seats. And again, I know Florida fans don't like me talking about it, but I do think it's noteworthy that this is a team that spent to the cap. And again, if you're an owner of this team, you're up there in your box, and you're looking around, you're going, hey, this building's not full. We're not selling the tickets the way we'd like to. The expensive tickets aren't selling. And the team's not achieving very much on the ice. So, yeah, let's go ahead and cut that budget. Just forget it. So, as much as it's easy to take a look at this organization right now and say, it's a joke, it's not that simple. Now, early in the third, TJ Brody makes sure there's no hope for a comeback in this as he scores from Giordano and Johnny Gaudreau. And it definitely helps at 109 that you've got a goaltender that has saved all 26 shots he's faced to that point in the game. So, a lot of confidence for the Flames today, and this was really a great game for them. The Panthers, really in deep at this stage. They get a power play, which was their third. Hoffman was robbed by Talbot. Hoffman was robbed a few times today, let's be honest. But this was the best of the three power plays they had so far. Just no goals. No goals on their power plays. The Flames got one power play goal, but that's not really the story. The story is Talbot with his 22nd career shutout, 38 saves. 4 said shutout. Talbot's your first star, Gaudreau's your second, and Giordano is your third. Montembeault, 25 saves on 28 shots. So I thought Montembeault played relatively well. I did. And again, when your team gets shut out, you can't just point at the goaltender and go, well, clearly he's the problem. Because unless you expect him to dress as a forward in the third period and go out there and score a couple of goals, no. Shots were 10 apiece in the first. 16-6 in the second in favor of Florida. Just could not solve Talbot. And in the third, both teams had 12 shots. Your final shots, 38-28 in favor of the Panthers. But the Flames, well, they needed a win and they got it. So with that victory, they passed the Canucks. They dropped the Canucks down into a wild card spot. Canuck fans will point out, rightfully so, the Canucks have games in hand. The problem is, for those games in hand right now, they don't have Markstrom. So that top three could very well stick around for the Flames. And hey, if the playoffs started today, right now, you'd get the Oilers and the Flames. And we all win if that's the case. So, for Florida, again, are they done? That's a question I have for Florida Panthers fans. Yes, they have fans. Every single time we talk about Florida fans, you get, do they have fans? Yes, they have fans. And I don't mean to insinuate that they don't. I look at this strictly from a perspective of what an owner might be thinking watching what's on the ice. You've got a team that's underperforming. A team that you can look at and say, these guys are being paid top dollar, and I'm not getting top dollar back. And this is definitely a team that's not going to be able to keep Hoffman. And now that we look at where they are and how far out they are, they might have been better off selling at the deadline and going forward from there. I would expect Hoffman's rights to get moved probably around the draft, just to see if somebody else is able to sign him. We see that often, but you're not going to get back the same value you would have at the deadline for Hoffman. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. And if you're a Flames fan, how excited are you right now about this team? They're coming back now off a 3-1-1 road trip. Now, they have to win at home. As much as I talk about teams that are struggling to win on the road and how that can cost you a playoff spot, the Flames need to start winning some games at home. Maybe this road trip spurs them on and they get there. Let me know your thoughts. Yes, this jersey should be in an Adidas. Why isn't it? It's beautiful. The Flaming Horse was always one that I really liked. So I know I'm in the minority there, but I think it's a great jersey. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Do hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.